We've got Forry chamber music, with which you will be familiar as a pianist, obviously. There's something called The Lamb's Journey, and a new set of the complete Mendelssohn symphonies. But we are beginning with song, in a way, although it does come from a very special piece and famous first performance. Set it up for us.
Yes, well, it's Vaughan Williams' Serenade to Music, which was written for Sir Henry Wood's 50th Jubilee and featured 16 of the most celebrated British singers of the day. And I think the label has had a brilliant idea, which is to take that first performance, remaster it, and then give a slot to each of the 16 celebrated singers, a track where they sing a song, or in one case, for instance, the Angels aria from Gerontius with Elgar conducting, and it's just a lovely chance to hear these great singers of the 30s and 40s.
Well, let's hear the Serenade itself first, and this is a famous recording. I think it was made just a few days after the premiere
with the original cast, and it's such a gorgeous piece.
the opening of this Serenade to Music by Ray Vaughan Williams, simultaneously a celebration of Sir Henry Wood's 50 years as a conductor and some of the great singers who'd worked with him over the years as well. 16 named singers in the score, and all of whom gave the first performance at the Proms and went into Abbey Road Studios to make that recording 10 days later in October 1938. And Julius, it's already a famous recording, and I have to say, it sounds really good, doesn't it? The remastering for the Albion label this time, it's gorgeous.
It's superb, and it's just great to hear. I mean, it's such an all-star lineup. Singers who are still famous today, like Astrid Desmond and Ava Turner and Isabel Bailey, Heddle Nash, Roy Henderson. I mean, these are legendary. And I love the idea that we hear them individually as well.
Well, you've picked a highlight. Why it's Roy Henderson, and why focus on his solo contribution to this album?
I just think it's, if you listen, in those days you rolled your R's, and nowadays, on the whole, you don't. Because it sounds old-fashioned. But it's really interesting to hear this wonderful singer singing Loveliest of Trees, and notice that every possible R is rolled.
Loveliest of trees, the cherry now is hung with bloom along the bough, and stands about the woodland ride, wearing white for Eastertide.
No R, unrolled. Baritone, Roy Henderson, recorded in 1941 with pianist Gerald Moore, singing Loveliest of Trees from George Butterworth's A Shropshire Lad. Immediately, it's a period piece, isn't it? But it transports us back to the time of the Serenade of Music.
And also reminds us that music changes, or performance of music, great music changes all the time. Every generation discovers this music again and does it in their own way. And it's just fascinating to go back a few generations and hear how they did it then.
And hearing every one of these 16 singers from the Serenade.
I think that's a great idea.
It's great. And suddenly these names from the past, they just leap into focus, especially with the brief biographical context they get in the notes. It's been very well done, hasn't it?
And you notice what great singers they are too.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And we should just say, as a postlude, because it is a postlude, after the Serenade you get an extra track and a singer who doesn't appear in the Serenade to Music.
Yes.
So why this little sort of bonus track, as they call it?
Keith Faulkner, he was a good friend of Vaughan Williams, and he was definitely in Vaughan Williams's original lineup, because Vaughan Williams got to choose who the singers were. But then in the end he wasn't able to get back from America, apparently, and so he didn't take part. But they've added this bonus track because he would have been taking part, and it's a very, very beautiful performance. Is My Team Ploughing?
From
it's worth the disc just to hear that performance again with the great Gerald Moore.
And
beautiful.
If you don't have or haven't heard the complete performance of this Serenade to Music, the first recording, just a few days after the premiere, you should get this. Serenade to Music, 16 singers, it's called. It's an excellent idea, reconnecting us with the voices. It's intelligently presented on the Albion label, released yesterday.